Okay, let's start this session. Hello, everyone. My name is Dev Karlikar. Hope you all are doing well. It's a beautiful evening. And welcome to another introductory IT session at GuruSchools. I sincerely thank you all for investing your time today. Today's introductory session is on Salesforce administration and development. Over the next hour 15 minutes, we will go over at an overview level, at a summarized level as to the Salesforce administration and development. And then we will keep the remaining 15 minutes as questions and answers for some of you and those of you who have questions as to why, how, and the prospects. We'll be more than happy to answer those questions on our behalf. This is after Salesforce administration. This is another popular track. Salesforce administration as a standalone session is very popular. Reason being, it does not require any programming knowledge. So those who have sales, marketing, customer service, small business background, they're aptly fit to get into Salesforce administration because they understand the customer life cycle, the client life cycle, how to woo the customer, how to engage the customer, and how to have that customer delight to the continuity. So that's the most important track. However, there are few others who want to have a cherry on the icing. In a sense, they want to have Salesforce administration as well as development experience. The only reason being, well, it's like having two pockets than one. If you have dual skill, basically you become a more valuable resource, and also you demand more salary. Salesforce administrator typically makes anywhere between 90,000 to 120,000. Salesforce developer typically makes about 100,000 to 120,000, whereas the rare breed of Salesforce admin come developer makes anywhere between 140 to 180,000. So needless to say, it's almost 80%, 90% more income than a mere Salesforce administration. Now, what are the prerequisites to undergo Salesforce admin plus development track? As in, what is the requirement preferably? Okay, nobody learns in mother's womb. The basic requirement is to have an open mind, to have that willingness to learn, to come up with a simple common sense, and it will be much easier for any of these two instances. Number one, if you have done Salesforce administration course, so if you have gone through that 4 weeks, 6 weeks of Salesforce administration, you understand from A to Z of the entire life cycle of the Salesforce CRM, which is the prerequisite towards deviating from administration to development. Either that, or if you have prior experience working on Java programming, because Salesforce development uses Apex, which is similar to Java. So either you have successfully completed Salesforce administration track, understands the sales marketing life cycle, understands the administration fundamentals, and then you gradually step into the Salesforce development track, or you have previously worked as a Java programmer, have a good, strong Java programming experience, and then preferably have worked in sales, marketing, customer service, or have business development, project management experience, which will help you towards becoming Salesforce Admin Plus development track successfully. Having said that, as I said, nobody learns in mother's womb. If you have that fire in the belly, if you have that appetite to learn, anyone can do anything, right? So, before we go ahead, let me give you a backdrop about GuruSchools. So, as the name suggests, GuruSchools is a modern marketplace for the ancient form of Gurukul Ashram, wherein you come in, into our virtual ecosystem, and over the next 6 or 8 weeks, we ensure that you are market ready in terms of your IT career. Okay, we strongly believe education is a strength. Once it comes to you, it stays with you forever, right? And sharing is caring. By sharing this knowledge with you all, it simply grows. It does not diminishes. Okay, so knowledge is very empowering. So what we do at GuruSchools, well, we bring world-class information technology, education and training to ambitious people such as yours who are looking either to upgrade yourself into IT industry or looking to get into IT industry. In light of COVID-19 pandemic, more than 20 million job losses. So, a lot of customer service and front-ending jobs, paralegal, substitute teachers, bank tailors, babysitters, all these jobs are long gone. Customer service, working at Macy's, JCPenney's and all. Now, you have a pseudo sales, marketing, customer relationship background, and that can be easily transitioned into Salesforce administration. And those who have done Salesforce administration can further gravitate to Salesforce Admin Plus development. Okay, that means more firepower to you, and you will become more valuable resources to the organization. What we do, well, for people who do not have an IT background, this becomes a strong foundation launching platform towards kickstarting your IT career. And on the other side, for those who are experienced lateral people are working on the older dated technology, which is not in demand, we basically recycle you. It's like unlearning unwanted things and learning new things, which will enable you a better career, which gives you good compensation. Okay, so what we do here is basically we provide a good blend of theoretical and technical knowledge during this 6-8 weeks of course. After that, once you are done with your theory and practical knowledge of your training, we also work with you, the trainer, as well as our recruiting team, towards having a reference ready resume, which has all the bells and the whistles, right? Meaning whatever people would be looking for, your resume will have those. Consider us as the beauty salon of the IT industry. In a sense, I see overwhelmingly there are ladies here more. You go to beauty salon to have a better version of yourself, or to work upon some of those cosmetics, so that the specialist will ensure you are 1 in 100, definitely stand out. So that's what we try to do here. Okay, so once we have your resume, which is reference ready, which has all the bells and the whistles for that particular technology, it enables you to help get a lot of traction in terms of vendor interviewing and the end client interviewing, because we work with most of the Indian outsourcing companies as well as the American vendors. And basically every single Fortune 5000 company uses Salesforce. So it's one of the most popular consumed technology and skill sets. So our trainers and our recruiters will work with you towards helping you prepare for the vendor interviewing, Also, our trainer will invest a lot of time towards doing interview coaching, helping you prepare for the client interviewing, giving you a question bank, having simulated sessions. So we walk the talk in ensuring that you're able to clear the client interview. And after the client interview, our job doesn't end there. We remain connected to you in a standby mode for up to 6 months while you're on a project. Because the initial hiccups and the initial project challenges, you may need help. And those initial days of your maiden project or the first project is very critical. And that's where we will be with you. And it becomes a fraternity. All of you will be clubbed in a WhatsApp group, which is very focused to the Salesforce technology. So there'll be people at any given point of time, about 5 to 10 people along with you. And along with you, there'll be trainers and the team of recruiting ready to give you timely service 24/7. Because I have a dual heritage, meaning an Indian origin American. Majority of my training staff is working in India in two shifts, India shift as well as US shift. Hence, they're able to service you whenever you need them. Okay. So, along with Salesforce administration and development, the other technology focused areas in no particular order where we provide training as well as staffing, consulting, and project support are cloud DevOps, big data, Python data science, Java full stack microservices, MuleSoft development, .NET full stack, robotics process automation, Selenium QA automation, business intelligence visualization reporting tools like Tableau, Click, Power BI, validation quality management, project management, business analysis, Scrum, and Oracle NetSuite. Okay. As I mentioned before, most of these training tracks are between 6 to 8 weeks. Well, about 6 weeks, and then holiday season. So Diwali, Thanksgiving, New Year, Christmas, things get pushed, internet connectivity or holiday time, vacation time. So there is always a stretch by a week or two. And these are well blended weekday and weekend session, about an hour and a half session, at least 3 days a week, spanned over 6 weeks or 8 weeks, up to 8 weeks. Okay. These trainings will be free if you choose to work on a project through GuruSchools. In a sense, post-training, if you secure your maiden project through GuruSchools and if you work on that project for up to 3 months, this will be a free training. Typically, Salesforce administration and development along with the certification track will cost you give and take between $4,000 to $10,000 depending upon who's training you. Okay. Mere training does not involve vendor interview preparation, resume preparation, client interview preparation, project support. That's an extra additional cost. I'm only talking about the training cost. Because most of these trainings will be from USA, and there are people like you and me training, and they need at least $5,000 or $6,000 per month to invest their time. Because we are engaging using our global sourcing model, our resources from India, and most of my team is my employee. So they have a day shift job, and then they work extra in the evening to have a supplementary income. So they'd love to do it, so that they are getting extra income as well as it doesn't cost me a bomb. Okay. I've also invested in a certification company. So most of these certifications are now virtual and they're open book certification. So again, our trainers stand with you in a standby mode, help you towards preparing you for the certification and ensure you get certified in the particular technology you are eyeing for and looking for. Okay. It also helps you a lot towards adding a feather in your hat in terms of your career growth. You look good to be a certified resource. In terms of client, as I already mentioned, we work with all major Indian outsourcing IT companies, along with the major American preferred vendors towards supplementing them IT professionals primarily for contract and full-time positions. Along with them, at least in this tri-state area, we work with many small, mid-sized clients like hotel, healthcare, websites, in terms of their website design, digital marketing design. And some of this project serves as an opportunity for you to teach in as a real-time hands-on project. Okay, these are difficult times in light of COVID-19. Since February, the entire globe has crippled. And in light of millions of job losses, especially in the USA, the entire world is going through the recessionary mode. So when everyone is suffering and everyone is worrying and everyone is wondering as to, so many bad and negativities happening around us, neither Biden or Trump or from India, Modi is going to come and help in our chores and our household to the extent of level, we are looking for. So it is upon us to manage our household and to ensure things doesn't fall through the crack. And towards that, it is our humble effort in terms of giving that timely help to people and ensuring we create enough employment, thereby reducing the unemployment in corporate America. Okay, year to date, between this dozen of tracks, we have about 600 plus enrollments so far, going through various training tracks. That simply means, the response is overwhelming. 10% of our earning goes back to various community causes. Like in light of COVID-19 pandemic, we have helped here about 14,000 people in giving them 1 month of groceries, sanitization, gloves, masks, and in India about 8.7 lakh people we have helped them towards giving them with 1 month of ration supply, sanitizers, gloves and masks and other things. Why we are unique? Well, we are unique in a way. To begin with, it's a free training course. Okay, you will come across majority of the training companies or agencies looking to make quick bucks on you, anywhere from a couple of $1,000s to $5,000-$10,000. Whereas, again, if you are planning to work through us on the project, it will cost you zilch, meaning nothing. For those who are looking to upgrade their skills, have gone through whatever, some skills and their company have asked them to learn Salesforce admin or development, but they have no intentions of working through us, for them, it will cost them $500. Okay. For remaining people, it's a deposit which is refunded to you once you work with us on our project and finishes at least 3 months. Okay. So what are we doing? We are creating employment in the masses. Because of COVID-19, there is a lot of pressure in corporate America. The budgets are getting squeezed. The rates are falling off the roof, and a lot of layoffs are happening in Q4 and will continue to happen in Q1. So there is a lot of insecurity, and hence, if there were both the family members are working, it kind of eases out that pressure and tension, rather than having only one breadwinner for the family. So it is our humble effort towards creating that option on the table, so that many of you will have less stress and hopefully a smile on their faces in 2021. Okay, so how are we different? Well, number one, these are free training classes. Number two, this is not a mere training we are doing. In a sense, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, give you some videos, couple of instructors will come, uh, talk something, and then they're gone. No, we stay with you in every step of your career until you get a job and you settle down in your job. So, training, post training, your resume preparation. After resume preparation, it is the vendor interview preparation. After vendor interview preparation, it is the end client interview preparation until you get a job. And once you get a job, it is the ongoing project support. Each of these steps requires a lot of attention, a lot of spoon feeding, and that's what we do. Okay. So today's session is, as I said, it's an introductory overview session. So what are you going to expect? Well, you'll be expecting at an overview level the gamut of Salesforce administration and Salesforce development. Okay. It's like a movie trailer. You watch that 2-minute, 5-minute movie trailer that gives you some idea about the movie, and then you make a decision whether you want to watch that movie or not. Once the trainers finishes with their training, we will have about 15 minutes of time reserved for the questions and answers. So please feel free to ask any questions which you may have. And if you're hesitant in asking a question, there is a chat option. So you can always type your question in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to take that question for you. Okay. For some of you who could not join or will join late or have to leave early, this is a recorded session. So a recorded copy will be posted in the next 24 hours once we edit and massage it. And it will be posted on our YouTube page, Facebook page, LinkedIn page, as well as on our website. So if you know our website, which is www.guruschools.com, or if you look us up on LinkedIn or on Facebook or on YouTube, you will see most of these videos which have been posted there. For today, our subject matter expert, we basically always try to make sure we have gender inclusion, meaning male as well as female, because depending upon the crowd, we can manage both the genders, right? Because that's one-on-one grooming, and for the interview preparation, often a particular gender can do a better service. Okay. So for today's subject matter experts, we have Devendra and Sheetal. Both of them have extensive experience working in IT industry as well as in corporate training. And they also have real-time work experience in a global project environment. So without doing any further ado, I would like to welcome Devendra and Sheetal. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, thank you, Dev sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, good evening all. My name is Devendra Bhardwaj. So carrying 8 years of experience. So Dev sir has already introduced us, like me and Sheetal. So carrying 8 years of experience in Salesforce, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud ecosystem. So today we are here to discuss about what we will be covering actually in the 6 weeks. So Salesforce admin will be of 2 weeks. Basically, this course is for for the programming background, and also if you don't have programming background but you have a Salesforce admin background, like if you have a skills of Salesforce admin, then also you can learn the Salesforce developer. So Sheetal, can you introduce yourself so we can start off with the presentation?
Sure, Devendra, thank you. Good evening, all of you. My name is Sheetal. Currently, I have been working as a Salesforce developer and consultant. I'm carrying around 5+ years of experience in Salesforce ecosystem. And going forward, I'll be sharing my knowledge with you all. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so let me hover over the presentation. So what we will be covering in the next 6 weeks. So let me take to the presentation mode. Okay, so This course is probably like Dev sir already mentioned that this course is for the programming background, as well as for the background who has done the Salesforce certifications as well as the Salesforce training. So the foundation needs to be very good to learn the Salesforce development, because if you don't know that Salesforce admin, and if you're not from the programming background, so you will be not be understanding the Salesforce development. So herein we will be covering like the crash course of Salesforce admin in 2 weeks. Then we will be covering the Salesforce admin. So coming to the Salesforce, so yesterday we had a very good session on the Salesforce admin, and we covered all the topics what we will be covering in the next 6 weeks of the Salesforce admin. But here we are for the development and the admin. So we will be teaching you like around 2 weeks or 3 weeks on the practical knowledge of Salesforce admin. So we will be covering the topics here in the introductories. So like some of you might have missed yesterday's session. So okay, so let me talk about the Salesforce. So when it comes to Salesforce, it's a CRM, it's a customer relationship management. So it's a company which was founded by Mark Benioff in 1999, which offers a very good offerings of SaaS and PaaS. So you can see on the screen, Salesforce is a cloud computing platform which provides service as a SaaS and a PaaS. So now the acronyms for the SaaS and PaaS is software as a service and platform as a service. So for example, talking about the difference, SaaS. So if you are delivering a software application to your clients or customers, then you are called as a software as a service company. Now that is why Salesforce is trending in the market. Every Fortune 500 companies is using it. So when it comes to platform, like when you are providing a platform where your clients build their own software applications, like for example Salesforce, a software as a service company, provides the platform of force.com, wherein you can build your own applications without having the programming language. So with the point and click declarative features, you can build the actual application on the Salesforce. So when you are providing a platform where your clients build their own software applications on their own platform, that is called platform as a service. So talking about the benefits of Salesforce CRM. So you might be heard of CRM of Pega, Viva CRM. So many CRMs are there in the markets, but Salesforce is nowadays booming because it's a very cheap in cost and very scalable, reliable. And the best thing I love about Salesforce is like it's user friendly. Like you use Instagram, Facebook. So when you go to the org of Salesforce, you will be like feeling the same. So its user interface is very good. So you will be loving while working in the Salesforce org. And it is also used to manage day-to-day customer activities and interaction. Like in the earlier days, people were managing the books to track deals of the customers, leads, contacts, accounts, opportunities. But by the but Salesforce as a boon given by the Salesforce company of Service Cloud, Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud as a platform where we can actually track our deals, make our contacts, accounts, opportunities in terms of Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud. So like talking about from the marketing perspective, this means engaging on a prospect with the right messages at the right time. So Salesforce provides you so many of platforms to get a clear view of their what they will be delivering and forecasting to their customers. So customer relationship management, it's a solution which helps to find a new customers, win their businesses. So it's all together a package wherein you will be getting a service of Service Cloud, Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Community Cloud, Analytics Cloud, Health, IoT, and all. So these all we will be covering in deep diving into it in the coming session. Okay. So here you can see on the screen there is a developer org, which is lifetime free environment given by the Salesforce. So it has a limitation wherein you can practice, but it has the 2 license free. Like for example, if you are creating the developer org and you are having 1 system admin and 1 standard user or 2 system admin, so Salesforce gives the users a very good So it's free of cost. It does not cost you a penny to create your developer org in the Salesforce site. So you can create your developer org and you can practice lifetime. So it does not require you to spend dollars on that, but you can easily sign up for free. So if you don't have any developer account, so we will be helping you to create your developer account, so you can, wherein you can practice, and actually we will be building our applications on that. So here you can see on my screen, we have built one application for our GuruSchools um, in the custom classic. So Salesforce has two versions of, wherein we will be covering on the custom as well as and a classic as well as the lightning. So it is a classic version of Salesforce. So remember, Salesforce has two versions, a classic as well as lightning. So this is the classic UI of Salesforce, and coming to that UI, so this is the UI of lightning version. So Salesforce has two UI, classic as well as lightning. So wherein we will be covering all these two topics, we will make you understand what is the difference between the classic and the lightning. So classic is like a bit old, and advanced is so coming to that lightning part, so it's an advanced version of classic. So wherein you will be getting the more additional features, like for example, if you buy a Mercedes car. So like for example, if you buy any Mercedes car in 2010, now it is 2020, so you will be getting the upgrade version, right? So that is the thing in Salesforce also. So earlier classic was there, so all the people were working in classic. So now it's now advanced version has introduced, wherein you can work and have the uh, like uh, uh, great features of that lightning version. So we will be discussing the cloud computing. So cloud computing is it is the use of remote servers to store, manage and process data rather than on a local server's personal computer. So now when we say remote server, so it comes to our mind that it means that it is in a distant location, right? So somewhere very far on the server. For example, your data will be stored. You don't need to worry about your data. For example, if you are a Java programmer, so some of you might have learned the concept of Java, or some of might have not learned. But Java concept needs like something. When you do the coding, you require some connections like JDBC, Java Development Backend Connectivity. So you need a proper database connection to do that. But in Salesforce, wherein it provides an inbuilt solution, wherein we don't need to worry about any infrastructure, any like database coding and like database connections, and also in one go, in one coding, we can accomplish our task. So altogether, it's a hassle-free platform that is trending and turning out to be a blessing for so many Fortune 500 companies. So when you go to the and check for any companies like TCS, Tech Mahindra, Infosys, Wipro, Cognizant. So they all are using the benefit of Salesforce, may it be Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud. So they are like Community Cloud. So they all are using the services of Salesforce. So this feature of cloud computing. So we will be discussing about this cloud computing, and it differs from the deployment models of cloud computing, wherein we have the public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, community cloud, wherein all these terms we will be deep diving into the classes. And also uh, we are about to start the admin batch as well as the Salesforce admin and development batch, wherein we are covering all the topics. So you don't have to worry. We will be taking you to all the aspects of Salesforce. So coming to the benefits of cloud computing and Salesforce. So you can see on the screen, so it's cheaper, scalable, collaboration and hassle-free. So when it comes to cheaper, like for example, it's a pay-per-use service. Like for example, if you're it depends on the edition, which edition you are working upon. So edition-wise, we will be discussing in the class while you will be coming for the class. So cheaper, like for example, yesterday there was a Black Friday sale. So you will always be go for the cheap. Like for example, if there is a a television set of, so you are going to the website, and if you're seeing that it is costing you around $500, so you will not opt for that in the normal days. But there is a Black Friday sale, So I'm taking just for the example. So if it is costing you around $350, then you will go for it. So Salesforce keeps their customers engaged in that. They have the good platform of, like, it's very cheap, because cheaper in the sense, like, you don't need to manage any servers, any database connectivity and all. So that is the thing. It's scalable. So in one premises, in one go, you can use. For example, if you are carrying your laptop and you are going for a business meeting, you can actually log. You don't require any servers, you don't require any database connection. You can just log in into your laptop and get going. And for example, if you are forgetting your laptop also, then you can also go to the Play Store. You have the Salesforce One mobile application, wherein you can track your deals in the terms of Sales Cloud, Service Cloud. So you can actually work on your mobile also. So Salesforce provide and they are also engaging some of the technologies like Velocity. So recently they have engaged Tableau also. So all the things they are, and also DevOps. So they are all engaging all the technologies and merging all the technologies with Salesforce, wherein all the technology people can use Salesforce and deliver best to their clients. And products and services offered by Salesforce. So you can see on the screen, uh, whether it is health, sales, marketing, service, analytics, community, app, commerce, IoT. Like, coming to the Sales Cloud, like for example, earlier, when the people was not using Salesforce, so they need to manage their accounts, contacts, leads on their, on the inventory sheet, or for example on the Excel sheet or in the notepad and all. But by using the Sales Cloud service of Salesforce, you can actually track your deals. You can actually create your lead opportunities accounts. You can convert the prospect lead into a customer. And coming to the marketing, for example, if you have any products, like for example, if you are working in a restaurant and you have some new of the products, like for example eatery products on veg, non-veg and all. So you can, by using the Salesforce services, you can market them, campaign them. Sorry, you can market them, campaign them. Like for example, using the service of Sales Cloud and Marketing Cloud, you can market also, and you can track the deals. You can make the prospect deals of the customers. And coming to the service, like for example, if you are using the services of Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud, then also you need the service for the feedback. For example, there will be a website of yours company, or your restaurant or anything. So customers will come and give a feedback. Then Service Cloud comes into picture, wherein there will be creating the cases. For example, web to case. For example, they will be writing like first name, last name, your email, your email address, your contact number, your address, pin code and all. So it will, when they click on submit, it will be created into a particular case, wherein it will land into the Salesforce org in the cases queue. So the agents can pick up and address that particular issue. So Sales Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Service Cloud, so it's a boon given by the Salesforce, wherein all the company uses for their products. And coming to the analytics, so it uh, handles the analytics part, most of the research part. And community, like you can see on the screen, community is there. So community is to you can say, to put together the people, like actually where the people can interact and meet. So community cloud is there. And application, you can build your own application. And you have commerce, like e-commerce website. For example, you can really sell your products on the e-commerce website. Then we have IoT, internet of health, internet of things. Then we have health, like for example, most of the hospitals in USA use these offerings given by the Salesforce Health, wherein there will be detail of the patients and appointment. Like patients can go to that particular application, and they can actually schedule their appointment and doctor and from the hospital. So the health cloud is used by the Salesforce, all the hospitals. So it's a very good offerings given by the Salesforce. So all these offerings will be covering in the Salesforce admin part. And coming to the model view controller, so model view controller is responsible for managing the data of the application. So what will be the model of your application, what will be the view, like how your view, in the sense like how your application will looks like. So controller, so it's a So forget about the Salesforce. So MVC pattern is followed in all the aspects, like in Java, .NET. So it's a model, like it's not limited to Salesforce. So yeah, this model is already used in Java and DevOps and all. So here in Salesforce also we will be using the MVC model, like it's responsible for managing the data of the application. So the model represents the real world object and provides data to the view. Like for example, if we need data from the database, then we can get it. So you can see on the data objects and related elements. In the view, you can see browser page, mobile page, page layout, and VF pages. So page layouts controls the like design of the pages. And the controller responds to the user input and performs for interaction on the data model objects. Uh, Sorry, data model objects. So controller is responsible to take care the end user request and load the appropriate model and view. So all together they will be working simultaneously one by one. So MVC provides front and back ends of the database for the users. Like for example, we will be building one application in the Salesforce admin track, and wherein we can give you the actual view of the data model view controller. So and the very important part in Salesforce, so we will be covering the security model. So whenever you go for the interview, the interviewer will ask you about the security model. What do you know about the security model? So 70% of the questions, 70% of the companies, they focus on the security. So Salesforce provide you the best security in the market. That is the reason that for every Fortune 500 companies is opting for the Salesforce security model. So here you can see on the screen, we have the object level security, record level security, org level security. So in that we have profile, permission sets, OWD, role level hierarchy. Okay, sorry, role level hierarchy, criteria based on manual sharing, and owner based sharing. So this all security model we will be discussing in the class. So what will be the object level security? For example, if you are working for any Fortune 500 companies client, and your client wants some users to like hide the object, so as a Salesforce admin or developer, you can hide that particular object, you can hide the particular record, you can hide the particular application. So all the security implementation in terms of Salesforce admin, you can do that, as well as developer. So we have the very good important topics here, also like data handling and processing. So here data handling and processing, we have data loader, data import wizard, data export, third party tools like ant migration tool and all. We have the different functions of export, insert and all. So like for example, if your client says you that to insert the 50,000 records, like 40,000 records, so you cannot do it manually, right? So we have a function like data import wizard. Like for example, if your client is saying that to upload that 40,000 record, then you can opt for data import wizard. If you have like more than 50,000 record, then you can opt for data loader. So data loader is a client application wherein you will be going to the Salesforce and downloading for like to upload your data. So if you have like 1 lakh record, 2 lakh record, 1 million records, so you can upload via data loader. So this is the beauty of data handling and processing, wherein we will be seeing all this in practicals. So just you need to focus on all the topics and practice more and more to get going. So and also we will be taking you to the reports and dashboards, wherein so reports and dashboards are the heart of any organization. So reports and dashboards, like it's a tabular form, it's a table. Like for example, if one deal is going on, like for example, if the clients have any requirement, like for example, there is one account of for example, there is account of oil and gas, New Jersey. So client will say you that I need how many contacts are there in that account, so I need to see that. So you can create reports going to the accounts, and it will be going to the tabular format. And we have the different types of reports, like summary reports, matrix reports, joint reports, wherein we can present to the clients. And and getting to the more version of reports, like it does not look, it's in the table format. So if you want into fancy manner, so you can opt for the dashboards. So dashboards, like you can have the pie charts, you can have the gauge. So different dashboards are available in Salesforce, wherein you can use for the client presentation. So whenever there is a requirement of the client presentation, and whenever there is a requirement in the company to present anything, so reports and dashboard will be in picture. So, and after that we have business process automation. So actually we can here we can automate the business. Like for example, on one click there will be email going to the particular customers, one email going to the particular manager. So we have two business process automations tool, like workflow actions. Workflow actions is it has a limitation, like it has 4 actions to perform, like new task, email alerts, field updates, outbound messages. So here you can see that new task. So for example, if you want to create a new task for the upcoming task, and you can assign to the particular user, you can send an email alert, you can field update. Like for example, if you are clicking on something, though, then field update will be there. So these all workflow actions we will be learning in the classes. So we have designated time for that, we will be covering that. And coming to the process builder actions, so there is a difference between the workflow and process builder. So the one difference is there, we cannot create a record in workflow actions, but we can create a record in process builder. So it's an advanced version of process builder. So there was a limitation while using the workflow actions, but wherein the process builder comes in actions. So we have so many of actions, you can see apex, create a record, email alerts, flows, post to chatters and all. So post to chatters in the sense, like for example, if you are posting any let's say the take the real time example of Facebook and Instagram. So you are posting your photos, you are posting your stories on the Instagram, Facebook. So likewise you can also post to the chatters. Like for example, there is a deal going on of 50,000 like $50,000. So as a sales representative of New York, New Jersey, Virginia, you can post to chatters. Like for example, if this opportunity is won, then we can post to chatter. So we can create that business process automation, wherein if the opportunity deal is like greater than 50,000 or it is won, it will be posted to chatter. So it will have the clear idea to the sales representative and the persons who are associated with that chatter. So all the things we can do so it's a very important topic, so wherein you can actually automate your business, and on one click go you can use it. And we are good here for the Salesforce admin part. So we will be covering all these topics. So some of the topics are not on the presentation part because it's an introductory session. So we will be covering from scratch in the like 2 to 3 weeks, and we will be also building the applications, and we will be also discussing the certifications part, and also like making you ready for that particular interview preparation, and what questions will be coming. And also we will be guiding to the Salesforce admin 201 and developer PD1 certifications. So from here now I've done from the Salesforce admin. Now Sheetal will take care of the development part. So Sheetal, over to you, and thank you so much all for listening to me. So if you have any questions, so you can park aside, so we can address after this session. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Devendra. Going forward, I will talk about the Salesforce development. So, all, let's talk about the Salesforce development. So, when we say it's a development, so programming language, the word programming language will come in our mind. So Salesforce has introduced Apex programming language, and what is that? So what is Apex? So basically, Apex is a case-insensitive language. It is an object-oriented language. Basically, it is inherited from Java language itself, and you can perform DML operations like insert, update, upsert, delete on object record using Apex programming language. And this language will allow you to create a unit test and execute them to verify the code coverage and efficiency of code coverage in Apex. So what is code coverage, and how how we will get the code coverage, and those things we will be covering in Apex test classes in the next slides. So then this Apex language will, this can be used as a data type in Apex, and it automatically upgrades with every Salesforce release. Of course, every year they are releasing some advanced features in each Salesforce release, but we don't have to take care of that Apex language, how it will upgrade and all. Salesforce will take care of those things in the back end. So next slide, please. And Devendra, please, can you move on to the next slide? So there are multiple questions. Why, when should I use Apex language? How does Apex works? And understanding the Apex concepts. So when we say when should I use Apex language? So after, of course, we have a configuration functionality. Salesforce has provided us standard configuration functionalities, but there are some scenarios we cannot achieve through the Salesforce standard functionalities. We cannot achieve through the configuration. In that case, only we need to, we have only option, that is a Salesforce development, and in development we have Epic. So we need to customize our solution, and we need to achieve the functionality. So this is always recommended. Apex code should only be written if a business scenario is too complex and cannot be implemented using the pre-built functionality provided by Salesforce. So as I said, there are some scenarios where you have to go for Apex programming, which cannot be achieved to the from the configuration functionality. So say suppose to implement a custom validations rule, we have some validations rule. There are some standard and there are some custom validations. And if you have a requirement to build the custom validations rule with the different relationships on an object, then you don't have an option. You don't have a solution to achieve that through a configuration functionality. So in that case, you need to always go for Apex. Then the second scenario can be if you want to perform some, or if you want to execute some custom Apex logic when some DML operations is performed. Say suppose you want to send an email after doing something, or you want to send an SMS to billions of clients. Then in that case, you have to choose the Apex programming language only. Then also we can say to implement the functionality that cannot be implemented using standard workflows, flows, and process builders. Then you have an option to achieve that functionality through customized solution only. Then I'll talk about how does Apex works. So basically in the backend, when you save your code, Apex executes in a multi-tenant environment, and Salesforce has defined some governor limits that prevent a user from controlling a shared resources. Any code that crosses the Salesforce governor limit fails, and it will shows up an error. So what are the governor limits, and how we can bulkify our code? What are the best practices to prevent this governor limits? So those we will be covering in the next slides. So this is a basic about the Apex programming language. How does it work? Why we need this Apex language, and we have some concepts of Apex. We tried to add those concepts in our next slides. Next, please. Next is Apex data type. So when we say I need to write a code, of course we need to know what are the data types I should use while writing a code. So we have some data types like primitive data types, that is integer, text, long, date and time, string, ID, boolean. So these are some primitive data types Salesforce has introduced. The second is the collections. So which are those collections? There are some collections, list, sets, and maps. And collection is basically that is a set of data which has a specific data type. Then we have different data types like S objects, enums, classes, objects, and interfaces. This can be what are exactly these data types we will be covering in our session. Next. Now, this slides give you an overview of Apex class, how to create an Apex class, from where we have to navigate to create an Apex class. So there are two options. You can open your developer console, and you can you can create your Apex class, Apex triggers, and other fundamentals from this view. And also you can through the Salesforce org, you can go to the setup, and there you can type Apex class, and there you can create an Apex class. So this is just an overview to create an Apex class. Next. Now, as I talked earlier, what are the collections and its types? So as we discussed, there are three types of collections. One is a list, second one is map, and third one is set. So without collection, if you want to write a bulkified code, and if you want to write or if you want to build a complex logic, you cannot skip this collection. You have to use the collection. And so to follow the best practices around, you have to use the collection. So what are these collections, how we will use the collection, how to define those collections, what is the difference between these three collections, how it exactly executes in the backend, we will be covering in our actual sessions. Next, please. Okay, so now next is Apex database methods and Apex SQL. So when I'm saying, okay, I need to write a code, when you write a code, you need to perform some action. So those actions you can perform through the database methods. We have some database methods provided by Salesforce, that is database.insert, database.update, then delete, upsert, clone, and so using those methods, you can perform the necessary task or necessary requirement you can achieve. The next one is SQL. What is this SQL? This is Salesforce Object Query Language, which can be used to fetch the data from the database. When you write a code, of course, you need a data to process on the data, and where you get the data, and where you get the data and how you get the data from the database. So you need to build an SQL query or SQL to fetch the data from database. You will, when you write a query, you will get the refined data from the database, which you can add some conditions. This is exactly similar to a SQL in the database. Here also they have provided some additional features, and with this SQL they have provided some additional features, and you have to use this SQL when you want to fetch the data and when you want to process the data in your code. Next. Next one is Apex Trigger. So Apex Trigger is quite a big topic in the Salesforce ecosystem. When you go for any interview, this is the important question they will ask you, and this is very important when it comes to development. Of course, whenever you start writing a code, you may come across, oh no, I need to write an Apex Trigger. So what is this Apex Trigger? I can say this is just a script that executes before or after a specific data manipulation happened on a particular Salesforce object. So these are kind of actions which can be performed when you touch the UI, when you save something on UI, or when you insert something on a UI, or when you modify something on a UI. So it has two different types. One is a before trigger and second one is the after trigger. So what is before trigger? When you suppose you want to execute something before modified something or before inserting something, you need to make some changes, or you need to build some logic, or you need to execute some things before you change or before you touch your UI. So that can be covered in before trigger. And what is after trigger? Exactly opposite. When you save the record, or when you insert a record into Salesforce CRM, then you need to execute some actions, like you can say anything. You need to update some records, you need to send an email to people, or multiple things. So those can be included after trigger. So we have a execution of trigger. So what does it mean, execution of trigger? When you save the record, so there are a lot of things and there are multiple things happen in the background, so it has specific flow. We need to understand how that flow will execute in the back end. So which includes a 16 or 17 steps. We will be covering that during our session, how exactly it will execute in the back end. Then trigger events. We have Salesforce has provided some events which you need to use in your code as per your requirement. So those events are before insert, after insert, before update, then before delete, then after delete, after undelete. So each event has its own significance. You need to understand that significance while building your logic, and accordingly you can achieve your requirement. So what is exactly this event, and what is the specification of this event, when we use the event, when to use before, when to use after event, and in which scenario, in which situation you need to go for which event, that we will be covering in our actual sessions, and you will be enjoying when you will perform the actual practicals and when you actually write the code. Now we have a context variable. What is the use of context variable, and what are the context variable? So when we say, okay, I need to check something, okay, is it on insert, or is it on update, or is it on delete? So for these scenarios, for this specific some circumstances, we need to use this context variables. And what are those context variables? We have is executing, is insert, is update, then we have is delete, is after, is before, then new, old, new map, old map. So similar way, every context variable has its different significance. What is new map, old map? So this when you write a code, when you build a code, you have to use this context variable, and you need to understand the differences, and you need to understand when to use which context variable. So this we will understand when you actually build a code, and when we actually go for the practical, and when we will work on a real-time projects and scenarios during our 2-3 weeks of sessions. Next, please. Okay, then we have a text design, trigger design pattern, and governor limit. So what is this trigger design pattern? As we talked about, this is a trigger, these are the types, these are the events, but on top of that we have a pattern. You need to build a code in such a way that your code should be very bulkified, and it should not cause any it should not hit the governor limit in the backend, because Salesforce has provided some governor limits, and developer should have to write your code within this governor limit. We should not cross this governor limits. So, and if we crosses the governor limit, Salesforce, it won't allow us to save your code, and it will not generate the expected results. So when it comes to trigger design pattern, we have iTrigger framework. So what is that? What does it mean, iTrigger framework? So this is basically a framework where you have to build your code, or you have to build your trigger in such a way that you have to create a utility class, you have to create your handler class, you have to create your helper class. Then your code should not be included in trigger. You just have to call your classes in a trigger, and you need to navigate through those classes. You need to build your logic or your code in classes only, not in a trigger. If you write your code in a trigger, then it will definitely at some point it will break your code, and it will hit the governor limit. So how we will build that iTrigger framework, and how we will how we will follow the best practices. So those we will see, and of course in our session when we will execute the practicals. Then I'll talk about some governor limits. We have some governor limits very quickly. Just give you the heads up what are the governor limits. So I can say when you will use the SQL limits, we have some SQL queries that can be done in a synchronous transaction is 100. This is one kind of governor limit. Then if it comes to asynchronous transaction, then SQL queries that can be done in asynchronous transaction, that is 200. Then records that can be retrieved by a SQL query, that is a 50,000. Then I can say the DML statements that can be done in an Apex transaction, that is 150. So these are some predefined governor limits which every developer should have to follow when they will go for a code or Apex logic. Next. Thank you. So what is synchronous and asynchronous fundamentals? I'll just quickly talk about what is synchronous and asynchronous fundamentals. When we say Apex triggers, and that Apex trigger is synchronous. Why it is synchronous? It doesn't care when you save the record in the backend. It doesn't care whether the Salesforce resources are available or not. It will execute the flow and it will give you the expected or unexpected result, because that is based upon your logic. It will give you the expected or unexpected result. Why? Because in the backend it doesn't care about where we have the Salesforce resources available to execute this particular logic or not. Why? Because this is a synchronous transaction. So this is kind of a synchronous transaction when we execute the Apex trigger. And what is asynchronous transactions? So basically, when we say it's asynchronous, it is like it will when you run the specific. I'll let's assume the example that is batch Apex. This is one concepts in development. I'll be covering in the next slide what does it mean and when we use. So let's take an example. This is a batch Apex and that is asynchronous. So when we say it's a batch Apex, please go back to the previous slide, Devendra. I'll just talk about the asynchronous fundamentals. So when we say it's a batch Apex and it is asynchronous, it will, when we execute that batch in the backend, it will check for the resources. Where do we have the Salesforce resources are available? If yes, then we will execute the batch. If no, it will wait until the Salesforce resources are available. So this is kind of asynchronous fundamentals. Next, please. Apex debugging. Okay, so I'll talk more on the asynchronous fundamentals before going to these Apex debugging. So when it comes to Apex asynchronous, we have a patch Apex and also this future methods, queuable, schedulable class. I haven't mentioned in the slides, but we will cover those topics because those are very important topic in order to interview and also when we develop a code. So we will talk. We will focus more on those topics as well during our sessions. So next is Apex debugging. So when you write your code, when you save your code and something is not working as per your expectations, how will you understand what is wrong? Wow, what if am I getting an exception, or my code is working fine in where I build the logic? So when you will understand that, so for that we have Apex debugging, and Salesforce has provided debug logs. Through the debug logs and through the developer console, you can get to know, okay, here my code is failing, here my code is working fine. I need to put some debug logs, so that, and we so to understand that, we have some exceptions handled or provided in the Salesforce. So through using those exceptions, using those Salesforce debugging fundamentals, you can, you will get to know that, okay, how to debug your code and how to get the expected output or expected result as per the requirement. So this is all about the Apex debugging. We will have a clear picture of Apex debugging when we execute the practicals. Next is Apex test class era. So what is test class? When you write your code, when you write your Apex code, when you write your batch class, when you write your any Apex method, you need to provide Apex test data to make sure my code is not hampering the production data, or my code is not hampering the org data for the other code or other functionalities. So you need to make sure you need to write a Apex test class when you build your Apex code. And Salesforce has provided some standard limit to have a code coverage. When you say it's a code coverage, you need to make sure my data is up. Whatever the data I have provided in Apex test method or test class, that it has accuracy of 75%. 75%. So you have to make sure when you build a test class, you need to make sure that your test class has 75% code coverage. Until and unless Salesforce will not allow to deploy your Apex class to a production. So these are some basics about the Apex class. You will be have a clear idea when you go through the actual sessions during our training. So this is all about the just overview of Apex development. Thank you, Devendra. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sital. So, Dev sir, we have from the admin and development. So, if you have any questions, you can ask. So, we are feel free to answer that.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, Sheetal and Devendra. Now we'll field some questions. Some of you have chatted me privately. That's okay too. Couple of you are lateral hire. If you need project, send your resume at inquiries at GuruSchools.com or resumes at GuruSchools.com, and we'll keep looking for next project for you if that's what you're looking for. The second project. Okay, one more question was, after training, when can I get a job? Well, typically about 2 months in training, and then another couple of months towards resume preparation, vendor interviewing, client interviewing. So 3 to 4 months before we job. Okay, somebody raised hand. Yes. Ask your question.
I want to understand how does GuruSchool help me to get a job, and what are the process overall involved in looking for employment, or a person like me who is looking for employment in a given region. How GuruSchool can support me on that?
Okay, well, I did explain in the initial pitch. Maybe you joined late, and that's okay.
So pardon me for that.
That's okay. So it's been split into multiple parts. The first step is theoretical and practical training, which is about 6 to 8 weeks, which gives you a good overview on a particular technical track. Now, I'm trying to be generic. No matter what technology you use in, you go through 6 to 8 weeks of that training, along with the simulated or real-time project, depending upon what projects we have. So that gives you good insight and something to write in your resume, which is reference ready, because these are our projects, right? So that gives you the confidence. And once your resume is ready, then through our implementation partners or through the preferred vendors like whatever, Infosys, Wipro, TCS, or Tech Systems, Manpower, Robert Half, Kelly, and many others, through their nationwide engagement, we supplement the opportunities, which are primarily consulting, contract in nature, and some full-time. With COVID-19, there's actually a boon for the first timers to get a job, because all jobs are remote. And especially to the ladies who otherwise had other family responsibilities, family, kids, and had limited timeline towards working, and was difficult for them, a couple of hours travel time and 8 hours of working. Now everything is remote, so you can be in your pajamas and work, and along with that you could continue doing your chores. So basically, along with training, preparing your resume, helping you with the vendor interviewing, the normal Q&As, because we've been doing this for the last 21 years in the USA. So we know typically, what are the questions and answers that are asked, what they're looking for. We have pre-existing relationship, mentorship. We know exactly what they're looking for, and they know exactly what our strengths are. And even the suppliers are looking for, they're all global multi-billion dollar companies and looking for an average resource who gets a strong support. So agencies like GuruSchool and GuruSchool-owned companies are their preferred partners, because number one, our price tag is competitive, and number two, it still serves the purpose in a sense, even if it's an average mediocre resource, but along with the lateral trainer, that average mediocre resource becomes a rock star, right? So till that time, the trainer is shadowing the team member, the students, they will nail the interview and they will sustain the project. And then what happens is practice makes you perfect. Nobody learns in mother's womb. So you're doing this repetitive, mundane things day in, day out. And 80 to 90% of the jobs, you are pretty much repeating in the first 3, 6, 9 months. And then you continue to learn it on your own. And the remaining 10, 20%, there is Google or there is other Salesforce fraternities, Google groups, Yahoo groups, LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups, wherein you can do a continuous learning. So that's what the modus operandi is. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that does. Thanks a lot, Devji. Just in addition to that, if I'm looking at job in a Middle West region, like the Chicagos of the world, the St. Louis of the world, do we have any specific alignment towards the business? You talked about the partners, you talked about various long-term relationship with your vendors, but in the Midwest region, how does that going to help me? If you could please explain, that'll be great help, sir.
Well, you can be anywhere across the country. It doesn't matter Midwest, Northeast, down south.
That's perfect. Yes.
West Coast. Because they're all with COVID-19 pandemic. There are legal issues. Nobody wants to get sued. So everything is remote. Okay, and it's an option on the table. If the employee wants to work on site, it is their risk and their prerogative. Otherwise, everyone is working remote. Okay, so that means you can be anywhere across the country and you can still get the job done. Okay, so what has happened otherwise, which I also mentioned, for lateral professionals, those who are billing $100, $120, $150 per hour, in light of the budgetary constraint and the budget for next year is getting reduced, there is a rate challenge. So for lateral people, it's a challenge because there is a 5, 10, 15, 20% rate reduction across the corporate America, meaning we have to suck it up in terms of the reduced compensation and the reduced bill rate and the pay rate. Whereas for those who are looking to get into the employment market for the first time, we're making $10, $20, $15, $30 per hour. For them, from $10 to $50 or from $20 to $50, it's anywhere between 400 to 300% jump. And that's a win-win option, meaning if you already have a bread earner spouse, making good money, and now he or she is having a rate reduction, then you can fill in to those shoes in a sense with your compensation. If the impact can be sucked up and by you creating employment, it helps mentally as well as financially towards running your family affairs of financial freedom. So in the next near future, all these opportunities are remote. And having said that, it's all boils down to how good you are and the rapport with the client and the client or the project requirement. All you need is one job. So whether it's Chicago or St. Louis, Missouri, or anywhere, these are all tier 1, tier 2 cities you talked about. And there are enough opportunities. Chicago, the entire Midwest is a manufacturing land, and they all use Salesforce because, as I said, the entire Fortune 5000 corporate America uses one or the other kind of a sales CRM, and Salesforce has more than 50% market share.
Thanks a ton for that.
Sure.
It really helps.
Thank you. Okay. Does anyone else have any other question?
Hi, my name is Deepika, and I just want to know when was the training is going to be start. You will let us know, or how we know?
Well, the process is you will send an email or message to inquiries@guruschools.com. There'll be a team of HR. We'll talk to you 3 times a week. We have a candidate counseling session, meaning people will come on the calls between noon to 1:30 Eastern time. 3 days in a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Candidates come in, they share with us little information about themselves, the background, their education, any work experience or any other experience back home or here in the USA. And then depending upon that and their preferences, we have our HR recruitment, even the trainer counselors can guide them. If you have already made up your mind, and if you need a particular track, well, typically we're just finishing our Salesforce admin this coming week. So wishful thinking, second week of December, we should be starting our Salesforce administration plus development track. The moment we get about 3 or 4 enrollment, we start the track. So.
Okay, so before we, if I join the training, I have to send you my resume to the GuruSchool.h.
Well, if you don't have a resume, if you have not worked, you will not have a resume. In that case, you will just have a one-liner saying, I'm so-and-so, I attended the training, or I'm interested in this and this, my name is so-and-so, and my contact number is so-and-so. So then what we do is, the HR will talk to you, will bring you in a candidate counseling session. It is just the initial counseling session. You understand, it's a very informal setting where you tell about yourself. Sometimes the couple joins in, so we do the couple therapy also because the spouses are also very keenly interested in the spouse's career. So, and that's okay too. And then once they like what it is, then we have created WhatsApp groups. So there is a WhatsApp group of the prospective candidates. We keep them warm. And as and when the trainings are started, we just engages them with those training. Like for next month, we are having Salesforce Admin Plus Development track. We're having Selenium QA track. We are having Business Analysis Scrum track. We're having Python Data Science track. We're having RPA, Robotics Process Automation track. We're having Validation QA Automation track. So we're having about 8 different tracks starting first week or second week of December. Again, conditions apply. Once we have at least 4 enrollment, we start the track. So that's where the spool of the candidates are there. And once they formally enroll, the tracks are started. All these tracks are through Zoom sessions. So, again, family commitments or some other responsibilities, sometimes people miss a class or 2 and they can do the catching up because all the sessions are recorded. So, and you will be in a fraternity, in a WhatsApp group. So there'll be people along with you, better than you, like you, maybe one notch down of you, and then you do that group learning, right? So it's a fraternity, sisterhood, brotherhood, and you work as one team. And then you also have an access to the trainers. So in this case, it will be Sheetal and Devendra, and they will be accessible to you. And on the other side, there'll be team of recruiting also. So each one of you will be owned by a point of contact, as a guardian, and their job is to be your day-to-day contact, which will be the HR point of contact.
Okay, so after I finish this meeting, I will get any kind of email that where exactly what I'm sending to the details. I do have
Deepika,
a work.
I already added you in that group. Okay, Deepika talking. Okay, Deepika, I spoke to your brother. I already added in the group, so you are there.
Okay.
Monday, you will see the invite for our noon call. So all you need to do is, just join the call. That's it. Okay. So you're already in the loop. So
Okay.
you have been served.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Sonali Arya, course is 6 weeks. So what is the bifurcation of admin and development course? Well, Sonali, I don't know background about yourself. So as I suggest you, drop an email to inquiries on GuruSchools.com. Come on Monday session. Between Devendra or Sheetal, one of them will be there and they can talk to you one-on-one or engage 5-10 minutes talking to you. Otherwise, this particular training track, which we are engaging, the first 2 weeks are on administration and the remaining 4 to 5 weeks will be on development. And this is meant for people who either have primarily gone through Salesforce administration or have Java programming experience. That's a precondition. Okay. Any more questions? Do we have any more questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, good. So that's pretty much, if no more questions, then pretty much that's what I have for you. Thank you all for joining in today. As I said, for those who have to leave early or were in and out, this session will be recorded and a copy will be posted on our website, our YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn page. So you may archive it from any of those modes. So I thank you all for your time. Thanks, Devendra and Sheetal. And for those who are in the USA, enjoy the remaining evening and good night. For those who are in India, have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you so much, Dev sir.
No problem.